Do you do any vocal warm-ups?
I love a vocal warm-up.
Oh, I'd like a proper cup of coffee and a proper copper coffee cup.
Give me the gift of the grip top sock.
Betty bought some butter, but said she, this butter's bitter. If I put it in my batter, it will make my batter bitter.
Keep doing that.
You do that before scenes sometimes, too.
Well, that's just to get attention.
Lily Tomlin would warm up. She'd go, "Beautiful, beautiful Copenhagen."
My name is Quinta Brunson.
Mackenzie Davis.
정호연.
Danae Benton.
Angus Cloud. My name today is, for practical purposes, Michael Keaton.
Minha Kim.
Jamie Lawson.
이정재.
Brian Tyree Henry.
My name's...
I'm Selena Gomez.
I'm Martin Short.
I'm Steve Martin. Together, we're the Three Amigos.
Well, maybe I shouldn't give you my full name, because then I'll get hacked.
My name is Himesh Patel.
박혜수.
Melanie Linsky.
Okay, I know this.
My name is Tawny Cypress.
Lily James.
Oh, Hannah Einbinder.
Joe Alwyn. Got that one right.
My function is really to tell the story.
I'm an emotionalist.
I like to manufacture environments to cry with strangers.
배우는 글로 쓰여진 시나리오를 몸으로 보여드리는 연기입니다.
So lucky you get to, live in make-believe in stories.
Clownery, in short.
I am primarily a seamstress, but when the clothing business gets slow, I act and ultimately became a Canadian icon.
Probably the hardest scenes, the trickiest scenes are like the more mundane ones in a way. It's often like the kind of bigger, more obvious, dramatic ones. I find anyway, you kind of know where you belong in them and where you kind of want to sit in them, and it's the bits that kind of thread everything together that for me often need the most unpicking.
The last episode of season 2 in Euphoria, when we were doing the whole shootout.
Don't shoot! Don't shoot! Don't shoot! It's a kid here! Drop the knife! It's a kid here! Please don't shoot!
Just having to be so emotional and so vulnerable.
The last 2 weeks of Natural Born Killers, shooting in a working prison with rapists and killers. I had walking pneumonia. I mean, what?
Almost everything, but I would say the bathroom scene on the episode 8 when she stabbed the glass. It was hard to imagine what she feels like at the end.
I would have to say, also Atlanta. We did an episode, Woods, which is my standalone episode in season 2. I don't know if they meant for it to be inspired by my personal life, but I had lost my mother.
Keep standing still. You're gone, boy.
And there's a moment where this homeless man puts a box cutter to my throat. And for some reason, I think we had been filming for 12 hours, and I lost it. Like, there's a moment where you literally see this tear come out of my... And that's real. Like, I truly was, like, in such a dark place at that time, and I think that episode really helped me heal.
The scene in Birdman, my character comes out on stage in that scene with Ed and Naomi, they're on the bed. I just got really anxious.
Take it easy, I know this is hard. Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Don't do anything stupid. Hey!
Eddie, please!
I hadn't realized that scene was up. I thought it was scheduled for later on in the shooting schedule. And so I was pretty panicked. I kind of locked myself in this little space on the set because we were ready to go. And I didn't think I was quite ready, but it turns out I was ready. I just cut everything else loose and just trusted that it would happen.
Oh my God, Abbott Elementary.
I'd have to say Abbott Elementary.
I just want to be all of their friends really badly.
I think The Righteous Gemstones.
Euphoria.
The Bachelor, The Bachelorette, or Top Chef as a guest judge, or Drag Race as a guest judge.
Yellow Jackets is so bizarre and crazy, and just like, I don't know, what these women are doing on this show is unbelievable. And now I know what happens to the men on this show, and I'm still willing to take that L.
I love Atlanta. I don't know what I would do on Atlanta, but if there's ever anything.
White Lotus. Oh, the other one, Succession.
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 Obviously, I would do anything on Succession. I would come into the room holding a file and say, "There's a phone call, Mr. Roy."
I was obsessed with The Simpsons. I mean, I was obsessed with Degrassi as a kid. But then I remember Scandal came out when I was in high school, and it was my first time, like, seeing a black woman really leading a drama in that way, and her power suits, and, like, all these people were in love with her. I remember seeing Kerry Washington, and I was like, I will be Olivia Pope one day.
Even Stevens was a really good sitcom. It was just really well done from top to bottom, pushing the boundaries of what a children's television show could be. Even as I was watching it, I was like, this is so different from the other shows.
Gilligan's Island and Three's Company.
Grey's Anatomy, because it was my favorite one since I was like 15.
If I'm completely honest, it's Rachel from Friends.
Ben 10s. But I just thought it was sick that he could like change into different shit.
When I was growing up, I was obsessed with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and so much so that I once almost jumped out of a window pretending to be a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle.
Oh my God. Do I have to pick just one?
Diane Keaton. Because she never did a false take, and she was always very present in the scene, listening.
Selma Hayek, if you ever have the luxury of working with this woman, is the most magical human being I have ever met.
I learned a lot from Zendaya. I guess she just taught me to have some confidence in what I was doing.
Probably it's Tyler James Williams, who is on the show I'm on, Abbott Elementary, and plays Gregory. He's just a well of knowledge about the industry.
What the hell am I supposed to say?
We're sitting right here.
Well, yes, probably to date would have to be a tie between Steve and Marty, for sure. I've learned so much.
That's nice.
I have to go back to sort of my creative birth, which was Cape Fear, and I learned so much from Mr. De Niro about professionalism, because his reputation preceded him obviously as a method guy or whatever, but you wouldn't know anything about his process because he did that on his own time, and then when he showed up on set, he just delivers.
연기자 생활을 오래 하지 않았었던 그 모습에서만 느낄 수 있는 그 아주 강한 자유로운 에너지가 있는데, 그 에너지를 봤을 때 저도 옛날에 저런 때가 있었구나, 때가 있었지.
Watching Olivia Colman is pretty amazing, just for her sense of like fun on set and relaxation, and someone who can just suddenly turn it on is pretty amazing.
I think I was taking a nap. Phone is ringing, and then got it, and then, "Oh yeah, do you have a time to talk?" So I was like, "Oh yeah." And then she was like, "You got the role." I'm like, "What role?" She was like, "You know, Squid Game." Oh my God. I just didn't know what to say. Still now, I can't explain anything about that emotion.
With this job, Conversations with Friends, I think because it came about at such a strange time, it was at the tail end of the pandemic, and work that I was meant to do got kind of sidelined and pushed. Finally getting something really special at the end of that was just like a big joy and relief.
To be honest with you, it had to be Atlanta. Like, Alfred is my best friend. Like, he is the people that I hung out with. So it just felt natural that I would be Alfred. And I remember, I'm not a person that dresses up in character. Like, I always laugh at those actors who are like, I'm going in a prison outfit, or I'm going dressed up as a lawyer, or I'm going to be a mechanic. And I'm like, what the f*** is wrong with you? And why do you have all these costumes? But like, I just knew that I had to dress like him. So I ended up wearing like these camouflage shorts, cargo shorts, and like a black polo. The very first episode, that's what Alfred's wearing. So what you see Alfred wearing in the first episode is literally exactly what I wore into my audition.
Probably for Yellow Jackets, I knew I had to be on the show. I'm a Jersey girl. I'm a Stephen King fanatic. It was right up my alley. And I hadn't worked in about 2 years. So it had come down to the wire for me after being in the business for 25 years, and to actually get a character to chew on was a thrill of a lifetime.
Oh my God, so many shitty things that I was like, F you, oh my God.
Some guy actually said to me, I was just starting out, and he kind of looked at me and said, "You're actually kind of good."
One time director said, did you rehearse for this scene? And I said, yeah, a little bit. He was like, don't do that. Be ready for anything. Be open. Don't get stuck in one way of doing things, you know.
People used to tell me, do like her, do like these seasoned model or actors. I would love to learn from them, but they kind of blame me because I can't do the same thing like them. I realized that doesn't help at all. It's just fine to be me. You don't need to be the same with anyone else.
I had great advice from my agent, Ang Harrod, when I was first starting out and I was really struggling to sort of really get the job. I was getting close, but my nerves, I'd get this big rash all over my chest and cheeks. And she just took me for lunch and gave me a pile of books. She just chose to sort of inspire me and tell me what films to watch so that I wasn't overthinking and panicking. I thought that was a great gift.
This is a little bit of a depressing story, but I lived in England for a couple of years and then I came over here and I was sort of doing the rounds and meeting people, and the casting director was like, you just don't have the right look. Nobody really wants to work with girls who look like you. Maybe you could try England, where they're okay with people who are more normal looking. I was like, I just tried England. It was so depressing, but it did give me like a little spark inside me, because I was like, why does everybody have to look completely perfect and beautiful? Don't you want to see different types of people?
Right after I graduated, I had an encounter with a casting director. They felt that they were giving advice to me as a young black actor and said that I needed to fit 4 boxes. That's all I needed to be concerned with. One of which was urban, which we know what that means. And then the second was country, and I didn't understand that one. And then they further clarified, basically slave. And in that moment, I was like, oh, you're not the only one that thinks this way. And so that gave me all the fire that I needed, so that the roles that I do, you can't fit into any box.
To be honest, it's probably ones that I haven't got.
Next question.
All of them. I hate auditioning. I'm the worst auditioner.
Geek game. Of course.
I hate auditions. I'm so bad at auditions, so every audition is nerve-wracking. I did one time audition to play Janis Joplin. I did say, like, I don't think this is for me, and someone said, oh, it's a great opportunity. It was so embarrassing. I was trying to force something that was never going to happen.
I don't know, I get nervous, I get sick to my stomach, man.
In the sort of late or early 70s, I was going to audition as a comedian for the Dean Martin summer show. And I had a comedy act, and I went into audition, and I did my act, but Dean wasn't there, but his executive assistant was there. And so I did my act for the executive assistant, and then she went in and did it for Dean.
There's never not a nerve-wracking audition, and if it's not nerve-wracking, then maybe you're doing it wrong. My first big audition for the ladies at ABC, this was back in the 90s. I was meeting these casting directors for the first time, and I went in looking as cute as I possibly could. Unfortunately, I was auditioning to play a crack-addicted prostitute whose baby was found dead in a dumpster.
The most nerve-wracking audition that I've ever done was for Yesterday in front of Danny Boyle and Richard Curtis, and I had to sing Beatles songs. Yeah, I was pretty terrified.
Like whole life, I was kind of really timid girl and shy, and it was really hard for me to talk in front of others. But while I'm doing the performance or while I'm even watching films, I can make my own voice and express myself. Like, it's so free.
It feels like we're in the business of empathy when it's at its best. The stories I've gotten to tell have been really a part of getting to shape how Black women are seen, and that's been really special for me.
아주 평범한 그리고 가난한 광대인데, 광대라는 건 한국에서도 그렇고 아주 평범한 사람들을 또는 귀족이든 왕이든 풍자하면서 살아갔던 그런 인물이었는데, 그게 어느 누구보다 되게 고귀한 직업이구나 이런 생각을 좀 많이.
Because acting, you never can do by yourself.
어떻게 저 많은 사람들이 각자 다 다른 생활을 하고 있는 사람들이 그 한 장면을 찍기 위해서 저렇게 모여서 같은 고민을 할 때 그 모습들을 보면은 정말 그 열정들을 보면은 참 일할 맛 나는구나라는 생각을 많이 하게 되죠.
I would say what I love most about my work is just the creative fun part.
I just love being able to be a part of, creating cool art,
I really love discovering new comedic talent.
Representing communities that are often misrepresented or pushed to the side or left to be observers and putting them more in the forefront and giving voice, that to me makes it worth it.
We're so lucky to be able to not only do what you love, but to continually meet new people, artists. I really still can't believe I get to do it.
What I love most about my work is how I can make someone's day. Just that alone is the coolest feeling in the entire world.